Back now at 7:41, and with the first presidential debate now in the books, area realtors say that they are taking a fair share of questions about what impact the election season could have on home values and mortgage rates. 9 News real estate expert Lane Lyon joins us this morning with a closer look. Lane is a realtor and managing broker at Coldwell Banker. Lane, good morning.
Jordan, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for being with us. A lot of people are hoping for some good news here. You've been looking at past elections for an idea of what might happen this year. Let us know what you learned.
Well, sure, there's some conventional wisdom out there that with the uncertainty surrounding the presidential election, that somehow the housing market might be hampered a little bit because people tend to press the brakes on large purchases when it comes to uncertainty and not knowing exactly what's going on. But actually, we're finding the opposite is true if you go back in time and look from a historical perspective. So I brought a graphic here to show you that shows the last 11 elections. Now, those are the blue lines, Jordan. And as you can see, we actually saw home sales increase following presidential elections. There were a couple of exceptions back in the 80s there and in the 90s, but what we're seeing overall when it comes to trends that homes still appreciate, slowdown is temporary, and impacts really are not that significant. In fact, improving, in fact, after elections, which really is good news to see, and I think people need to keep that in mind as we move through the next few months of kind of wondering where this is going.
Relatively, it doesn't last too long. Okay, you got this question in the commercial break. What about interest rates?
Oh gosh, I know, Corey, that was her first question out of her mouth before she disappeared here. This is something that we've been talking about since the beginning of the year, that maybe we have some optimism that interest rates will start to come down a little bit right around the presidential election. Why? Because that's what we've seen in the past. Now, I have to warn you, don't expect anything major here or super significant, but yes, interest rates have a tendency to ease up during presidential elections. So let's go back to the graphics here. I know this is a lot of numbers, but look at the far right side. See the green there?
Right, yes.
Those are all presidential election years where interest rates came down. So you can see we're talking about 1/4%, 0.5%, exceptions being in 1980. Take a look at that, 12% to 14% interest rates for mortgages back then. That's why people who own homes back then like to remind us that, you know what, 7% really isn't that bad. But you can see overall, with some exceptions, 8 out of the last election years, we've seen interest rates go down a little bit. And it doesn't matter who wins or loses in these situations. We tend to see this activity and things bounce back December and into the following year. So next year could be our year.
So the word refi might be flashing through people's minds right now.
And that's music to a lot of ears.
Yeah. Okay, in the meantime, though, hard lesson for all of us. You are warning people to be patient.
Right. What about people who are on the market now or need to go on the market this year? Be patient.
Yeah.
We really are in a situation where standing inventory is up. We have more houses on the market right now. Why? Because they're taking longer to sell. Buyers are taking longer to make decisions because of the interest rates right now. And I have to say, Jordan, that these are really near perfect conditions if you were looking to buy a house. Why? Because sellers are flexible. They're willing to negotiate. I saw a stat that 57% of homes on the market are seeing price reductions right now. So this is the time to get in. Even if the rate's a little bit higher, sellers are willing to help you negotiate, buy those rates down, make repairs. This may not be the case when people start to come back to the market if we start to see interest rates go down. So act while the market is here, but I have to say, Jordan, no one is pressing the panic button.
Right. Okay. Well, Lane, I asked for some good news. I think you delivered on that.
You got it.
Appreciate you being here, my friend.